Oh, wait. Oh. Oh. That was supposed to happen. Oh, wait, no. Okay, it's there. But my screen's just messing up. Anyways, hi everybody! Hello! Hello! Oh god. Oh, sorry. Man, it feels good to have my PC back. It really does. Anyways, I know on the schedule it said that tomorrow was, well, today was not going to be a stream day and tomorrow was. And tomorrow would basically be like my comeback into streaming, but technically I also streamed last night. So, we'll just pretend that, you know, that the schedule was altered. Okay? So, I found this game. I won't say more than that. But yes, I found this and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. And, who else? I mean, yeah, you'll see for yourself. Oh, again, I just want to clarify that as we go through this, you'll see that I'm probably like, moving quickly. That's because I already did, the first one. So I want to basically get through that so we can get to the second one. It does have voice acting in some parts. So yeah, that's also a bonus.
马上就要开庭了，让你在旁边闭目养养神，你突然鬼喊鬼叫个啥呢？
龙叔。
Hi, Prismo. Hello. And hello to everybody else that's here. How are you guys doing?
因为这是个关于凶宅闹鬼的案子，我又实在接得太急，昨天看了一整晚的材料，结果果然刚一闭眼就开始做乱七八糟的怪梦了。
哎呀，你这个样子，真的没问题吗？今天可是你作为律师的第一次出庭。
I agree with the good BC. You know what? You know what? I did what I could with what I had, okay? Okay?
没问题，对吧？
Like, at least give me some credit for not just, like, deciding not to stream until my PC came back. Doing good, won't stay long today, sadly, since tomorrow I need to wake up to go to France. Oh yeah, you're going to IFO. Again, you better fight hard, so that way we can cheer you on the big screen. Doing your best? You better be. But it's okay if you don't win. We probably will get cooked. And that's fine, honestly. I say take notes as well. See what you could have done better. And something else you could like try instead of like a certain move. So don't treat a failure like it's the end all be all, you know? Failure is a learning experience, no matter what you fail at. Okay, let's end this chaotic opening. Anyway, my name is Luna Ray, a newly graduated lawyer who just returned from studying abroad. This person who appears rough and unreliable, but is actually much more capable than me, is Charlie Drake, the chief of Drake and Thomas Co., as well as my senior and boss. You don't worry. It'll be like that. What's happening tomorrow? Oh, so Prismo, one of my loyal viewers, he's actually going to be participating in Evo France in a Street Fighter 6 tournament, right? Today marks the first trial of my career as a lawyer. But hello, Infinity! Hello, hello! Unless you prefer I call you Infinity Bandana. Oh, did I read this? You know what? I'll say I did. If I didn't, well, I did it. But the situation right now is a bit tricky for a rookie. As for why, that's a long story. Chief? I don't think I can handle this case by myself. Man. You know what? Maybe I'll do Charlie too. Because there's not a whole lot of narration, I think, in this. You only received the case last night and rushed to this court this morning. There must be many details you haven't confirmed yet. Yes, this defense is completely unplanned and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Alright. What?
我记得对方好像是你大学时的师姐来着。
没错，就是小梅我了。我还是第一次当被告呢，居然还有沙发可以坐，我还以为要带着枷锁蹲在囚车里呢。哎，居然每个地方都有法警把守，呀，好兴奋！
Yeah.
那边那个正在撒欢的人，就是你的委托人？
当了被告进法庭还这样，确实是他会做出来的事。
This seemingly unnervous person is my senior from college, Swift. After graduation, she worked at a law office for only a short time before transitioning to become a detective novelist. Although it's hard to believe, her works are said to be quite popular. Just before getting off work last night, I received a call from her, saying she had been arrested on suspicion of murder. Due to the urgency, she had no choice but to entrust me, the lawyer with whom she has the closest relationship. She may be unreliable, but I know she wouldn't go as far as committing murder. Today I'll have to find out the truth and help clear her name. No time for small talk. Quick, tell me more details about the case. Well, we barely had a chance to talk before the detention center closed. You only showed me some video screenshots. No. No. Yes, if I hadn't seen those things, I wouldn't have had that nightmare just now. I have already collected those screenshots as evidence. Let's focus on the case now. After all, during our meeting yesterday. If it helps anything, I am a former professional sim race driver. I understand that nerves can be a thing at times. Oh, you're talking to Prismo. Oh, okay, because I'm like, what? Wait, really? Oh, wait, hold on. I mean, I know I could just ask you, but I also kind of want to look it up too. It can. Do, do, do. Oh, so it's not like actual um race car driving. So it's like the virtual. Sometimes that is good because it makes you more aware of the movements you do. Okay, so basically virtual race car driving. Okay. Interesting. And Infinity, you're one of Notch's viewers, right? Just making sure I remember you properly. But how did you get into sim race driving though, Infinity? I'm very curious. All I remember is that shocking line. I was just as an evil god and got arrested. You didn't give me anything else useful. I don't know about that one, Plum. I don't think either of them is normal. Is this person really your senior? She doesn't seem like someone who studied law at all. No. Your novel is becoming more and more fantastical. Is this still a detective story? Hmm? I think I've heard of a similar case. Are you really supporting such outrageous content? Well, I heard about that too. It's good news for you. Huh? So today's trial is a showdown between rookies? That gives me a bit of confidence. What? No wonder there are so many people outside with cameras. So you're the one who called them here, Plum? If I lose, my career will hit rock bottom after the debut. What? You're the thing in the video that pushed the victim down? Wait a minute. What you just said? You didn't mention it at all yesterday. But... Oh no, we have no time left. Well, well. What a unique client. Time's almost up. Take the few pieces of evidence we have and get ready. Okay. Plum's attitude is always different from ordinary people. I can only rely on the few items on hand. Just in case, I can browse through the exhibit in the top right corner. That's right. So I can click it or I can press tab. Contains information, I can review it at any time. I keep reading that. Let's see then, top left, open menu, dialogue, save load, settings. At this point, it's all or nothing. Come on, for me and for Plum. I can't stop laughing.
关于被告人熊小梅涉嫌杀人一案的审理，现在开庭。
辩护方那个 已经准备就绪。
老夫想想，哎呀，一般应该怎么说来着？监控方已经准备好了，应该是这样吧。
Huh? Isn't the prosecutor today a rookie who just got qualified half a month ago? How come it's a man as old as my grandpa? This be one of those stories where a janitor at the court finally gets qualified after years of hard work? Even such an old man has to appear in court. Maybe they are really short of staff. Just think of it that way. Has the procurator... Whoa. Hold on, wait. Procuratorate... I think... I don't know if I said that right. Really fallen to such a state. Anyway, focus on the trial now. Also, guys, please understand. I believe the game was originally in Chinese, so the English translation may seem a little bit awful. Let's get straight to the point, Your Honor. This man. Huh? Chief, he seems to think that you're the defendant in this case. I'm standing far from the center. Even if he got the person wrong, he should think you're the defendant. That's not the point! Yes, there isn't a single part of your statement that is correct. Can this grandpa prosecutor really make it? Well, well, that prosecutor has turned the opening into a mess. This won't do. But we can use this chance to impress the judge. Since the prosecutor is unreliable, use your speech to steer the trial back on track. I'll give it a try then. After all, I've seen the trial procedure many times. What I should say now is... the prosecution statement seems to partly deviate from the facts. So, regarding the defendant and the details of the case, please allow the defense to make corrections. First, as you said in the opening, we're here today to try a murder case. My client, the defendant, Plum Swift, is suspected of killing Pine Camel, a ghost hunt live streamer. Yeah, like I said, as you can see, some of the the wording doesn't seem too what's the word? Smooth, I guess. It was like a smoother way of putting this would be, my client, the defendant Plum Swift, is suspected of killing Pine Camel, a ghost hunting live streamer, or a ghost hunting streamer. You know. Is that correct? The Ghost Hunt live stream is a popular format in Japan and South Korea, similar to ruin exploration. These streamers explore eerie places to capture supernatural events, so it's called a ghost hunt live stream. In recent years, with the development of major video platforms, there have been many people live streaming ghost hunts. I think I've seen this poster before. It was posted by the victim not long ago. It's not entirely wrong. As for the crime scene in this case, it's in a high-end Chinese-style residential community. What was that subtle hesitation just now? Did you forget the name of the community? You read my mind, Chief. I took on this case in a rush, and that awkward name is indeed hard to remember. No worries, if you need to confirm any information, remember you can check the exhibit for help. Right, just click on the exhibit or press tab. I can check them at any time in court. The name of the community where the incident occurred should be in there. I need to hurry and continue my statement. The location of the incident in this case is a high-end residential community, and its name is Merde Maisons. I find it weird too, but the community's name matches what was on the victim's promotional poster. Ooh, I'm sorry if you guys heard that. Jeez, sorry. I'm not feeling cheerful despite your kind words. It's something the prosecution should know best, isn't it? It seems like Prosecutor Hush is seeking help from us. You have to step up and be the good guy. Why do I have to play both the defense and the prosecution? This is the part where I need to present evidence to the judge. I've seen this many times. Choose the appropriate exhibit, click present, and that's it. I believe this evidence explains why the defendant was arrested by the police. I have the video record of the victim's live stream before his death. The content is, well, it's hard to describe. The live video is very long and contains a lot of repetitive and irrelevant footage, so I only took screenshots of the relevant parts. Let me explain it briefly. The time of this screenshot is 4:44 p.m., showing the victim exploring the house after entering. Looks like he stumbled. At this moment, the victim appeared to be holding a selfie stick and writing notes at the same time. The subsequent footage is all in portrait mode, and the victim had already found a place to set up his phone. Then he disappeared in the screen. There was no movement for the next few minutes. The next time the victim appeared on the screen is at 4:54 p.m., when he exited towards the right side of the frame. We can also see the bruise on the victim's leg caused by the stumble. This is also the last time the victim appeared on the screen. At 4:55 p.m., a pink object appeared in the live stream. After entering the room, it hesitated and looked around for a while. was not until 4:57 that it continued moving forward. Then, accompanied by a falling sound, a blurry shadow fell down. And this shadow was later confirmed to be the victim, lying dead on the first floor. I can't completely rule out this possibility, but at least there are no ghosts appearing in this video. This pink object is actually an exaggerated mascot costume, and the person in it is my client, Miss Plum Swift. And I just knew it minutes before the trial. I think that thing is called an octopus? What on earth is that? In a word, the entire sequence of events above was witnessed by all the viewers watching the live stream. I believe that's why the defendant became the prime suspect in this case and was arrested by the police. Am I correct, Your Honor? No, that's not what I meant. My defense hasn't even started yet. That old man is giving you a thumbs up. Great job. Now you're the prosecutor. If it goes on like this, my mind is going to split. How come you're still searching for the documents on site? We took on this case too hastily, without the chance to interview the people involved or investigate the scene. Everyone's words and actions in court, along with the exhibits presented, will be crucial. Pay close attention. Got it. Leave it to me.
陈姐，依照流程，我得自我介绍吧？
对，忘了，你请。
我叫牛美兰，是洗浴庸宅的保安兼管理员。
So this lady is the first witness I'm going to question today. She looks like a very gentle person.
你不是牛警官吗？那个单枪匹马剿灭600人盗窃团伙的警界传奇呀
Just forget what I said.
您过奖了。坊间传言总是比真相夸张一点，其实那个团伙只有6个人。
100 times? That's not just a bit.
况且我已经不是刑警了，孩子渐渐长大了，就想换一份安全点的工作。毕竟孩子他爹还在中东战区维和部队服役，我们不希望他在将来同时失去父母。
They are truly a pair of heroic role models.
现如今，小区保安才是我的身份，让您见笑了。
哎呀，司法界失去你这样一位人才，真是莫大的损失啊！
对了，请让老夫补充几句。各位也听到了，证人之前是一名刑警，他还是案件的知情者，具备专业的刑侦知识。检方认为由他来代替老夫说明情况更加合理，怎么样？
没有问题。
You got the chance to slack off again, huh?
收到，那接下来的时间就交给我了，请各位看看这张现场布局图。
More than one victim, but 3? I should be going to sleep. Thanks Infinity Bandana, and have a good stream, Akri. Good night, Prismo! Sleep well! And don't miss your flight. Unless you're driving. I have a question. The second floor doesn't seem very high, yet the victim died on the spot. If he really fell, he wouldn't be here anymore. What? It is said right on the corner. Bad luck. By the way, since you're the administrator of the community, could you give us a brief overview of it? What do you mean by small? Specifically, how many are there? Huh? Only 3? No matter how high-end it is, there's still a murder house. Having a lot more pieces of evidence all of a sudden, I'm a bit lost now. Don't worry, apart from collecting evidence, we can also hear the testimony. With the testimony of the witness, we can gather more information about the case. Once the witness starts testifying, the significance of each exhibit may change based on their statements. Right, I almost forgot. If I want to help Plum clear her name, I need to find evidence that proves she is not the murderer. Witness, based on the current evidence, is the defendant really the only person who had the opportunity to commit the crime? Can you provide more detailed explanations about this? Leaving all the important things to others are... leaving all the important things to others... Are you playing the sidekick in a skit? What a masterpiece, huh? You're even equipped with that kind of thing? The outfit seems to have something strange on it. I'll examine it closely later. If we admit that the defendant accidentally pushed the victim and it led to his death, it's admitting she's the murderer. Of course, the charge of negligent homicide is much lighter compared to intentional homicide when it comes to conviction. Plum entrusted me with a not guilty defense. I can't back down on this issue. Anyway, the defense has the right to question the witness. Please allow me to question the testimony first. I reviewed the procedure thoroughly on my way to the court. First, I need to ask the witness for more details to gather information. If I find any contradictions between the testimony and the evidence I have, it's time to present it. I need to precisely present the exhibit that contradicts that specific statement in the testimony. The witness seems sharp and focused. Questioning her can improve your skills. So make the most of it and start the questioning right away. You can ask for more information. Asking questions will not diminish the judge's impression of you. But be careful when you present. If you present the wrong exhibit, the judge's impression of you may worsen. Instead of immediately pointing out contradictions, it's better to ask for more information. Okay, leave it to me. Alright, now on to cross-examination. We'll recall witness testimony to keywords. When a keyword is clicked, witness's full original testimony is displayed. Clicked again, cross-examination of that statement will be initiated. Identifying testimony that contradicts evidence. First you click the keyword to activate, then you click present on the exhibit. And obviously, game ends if you deplete your thing. This one, right? Officer Falcon, may I ask you a question? Do you believe the defendant, who admitted to the pushing, is the sole suspect since no one tampered with the scene afterward? Then there's something strange. Please take a look at this photo of the scene. The police's inference is that the victim was pushed from the second floor, hit the altar table, and died. But given the position of the body, the altar table in the photo is impossible, right? The body fell on the right. The blood stain was on the left of the altar table. They were in totally different sides. At just one floor's height, I don't think the body could have hit the table hard enough to change its angle completely. Well done, Luna. Very keen observation. Besides that, there's another conspicuous issue in this photo worth discussing. The blood around the body is minimal. Is this what you'd expect from someone who fractured their skull on a table corner? I don't think Officer Falcon and the police would deliberately tamper with the scene. Could it be that someone deliberately manipulated the scene before the police arrived? If so, why'd you shout objection? But the defendant was entangled in the staircase railing and didn't have the ability to tamper with the scene. What? Isn't that a bit far-fetched? She was wearing that kind of costume. But it's not entirely impossible. Calm down and listen carefully. Don't just accept the absurd reasoning so easily, okay? Though reluctant to admit, Officer Falcon's explanation does make sense. Inconsistency in the photo of the scene isn't sufficient to entirely overturn the suspicion on the defendant. But your efforts, at least, have created a slight crack in her seemingly solid chain of logic. If the defendant is truly innocent, following this crack will eventually tear apart the previous conclusions. Okay, I see. The next round of testimony is coming. What kind of terrible lock is this? Truly befitting a murder house. But then our client is made more suspicious. Are you here only for fun? Reputation? A murder house? I wouldn't want it even if it were free. I couldn't agree more. I better focus on how to break down Officer Falcon's testimony. Your Honor, may the defense start questioning now? Was it that one? I think it's... Officer Falcon, you've been following the procedures diligently as you said. But there's something you overlooked. For example, this registration form. According to the records on the form, there's a person named Bambo Deer, who had entered the community. And this person left the community just after the incident. In that case, the police cannot rule out the possibility that he entered the scene to commit the crime, right? Specifically, why do you think that this person couldn't be the suspect? Huh. If so, he would have had no time to be involved in this case. Whoops. Is that so? Calm down and think carefully. If your assertion is that the defendant is completely innocent in this case, then the incident of the defendant causing the death of the victim must never have happened, right? This is basic logic. Indeed, I haven't thought about it properly since the trial began. If Plum is truly innocent, then under what circumstances could these pieces of evidence have been left behind? When she entered the murder house wearing the mascot costume, who did she push down? What happened inside the house before she arrived? If I want to refute the police's complete chain of evidence, I must have my own assertion. Hold on, please. The defense wants to present a new possibility to refute the police's claim. The new assertion of our side is... I think it was... this one, I think. Video didn't record the moment of the crime. So we've just been trapped in a fixed mindset. Why did this live stream video necessarily capture the exact moment of the crime? Let's consider a possibility. Lion Camel was already dead, and it was his body that fell. Then even if the defendant admitted that she pushed down the victim, it wouldn't constitute murder, right? No, we believe that the video contains a blind spot that we hadn't noticed before. It reveals a new possibility. It seems I need to select right picture in these picture. Yeah, I just read that. Please look here. This part of the video reveals another possibility in this case. It's here. At the moment the victim fell to the ground, there happened to be a screen in the scene blocking the view. We can't be sure whether the victim fell onto the altar table in this fall. Huh? Really? That's a problem. Let me think. To make your assertion fully credible, the inference here is crucial. Think it through before answering. Got it. Everyone, Shivery Camel still appeared on camera in this live footage because... what was it? Disguised by another person? Actually, it's quite simple. The body could have been hidden somewhere that was covered by the upper part of the screen and not captured on camera. So the person on camera must have been someone else disguised as the victim during the live stream. As you can see, the live environment was dim. Furthermore, this live stream was abruptly interrupted due to the murder case, and only lasted for a short time. If it was just a brief disguise, it could go unnoticed. And as we just found out, a person named Bamboo Deer had the opportunity to enter the scene. Suppose Bamboo Deer killed the victim earlier and then disguised as the victim for this livestream. Then the defendant wouldn't be the only suspect. Since you both agree with my claim, our side hereby formally requests to summon Bamboo Deer as a witness to testify in court. Good, I must use this opportunity to counterattack. Officer Falcon, please listen to me. Our side has repeatedly revealed key details affecting the case during questioning. Perhaps the defendant's eccentric personality and odd behavior are really troublesome. But under the impression that she's annoying, you inadvertently overlooked many facts favorable to her. Yes, I have to admit, your testimony was logically sound and your emotions were well controlled. However, you were still influenced by preconceived impressions, showing a tendency to convict the defendant. Bamboo Deer clearly had the opportunity to commit the crime, yet you deliberately ignored it. If you continue, you will only present the testimony unfavorable to the defendant, right? Please don't insist that it's impossible. Such biased remarks are inappropriate. Let's summon Bamboo Deer. Huh? What's wrong with Officer Falcon? Maybe you hurt her detective's pride by saying it too frankly. If it were any other prosecutor, they would have objected and stopped you. But in this case, well. Hold on, where are you going? She just ran. Hi, Ollie. Oh, hello. I just realized I didn't. I did not refresh the chat. Whoops. She's still got the detective skills, staying true to her past. What should I do? I can help summon the witness. Are you here for fun? I'm so tired. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. We're still far from getting an acquittal. Luckily, the prosecutor is a weird old man who hardly objects. Ooh, ads in a minute. He reminds me of Professor Williams from our college days. Our break time is limited. Will you two stop chatting? I got carried away. If It's time for you to explain what you did in this case. It's because you're too unserious. Anyway, let's not waste time. Tell us what happened on the day of the incident. Hmm? You're already calling it the Murder Mansion community? It's that refuse. You can't refuse unless you're, well, subbed. You know what? I'll stop right here since they'll be starting like really quickly. But why didn't he open the door for you? Where are the ads? And the one time I'm ready for ads, the ads are like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna start. So Ghost Hunt live streamers need to plan things like that. That makes sense. Hold on, so you dressed up in that mascot costume for... There it is. Ugh. You know, I think it was a good idea to include the little Seribot thing that's like, ads are over. It's a Chinese-style villa. What kind of evil god are you dressed as? So that's when the strange stuff got stuck to your costume. So what on earth is that? Who in their right mind would do something like that? Huh? There is still a few minutes before the court restart. Why? Huh? Where does she suddenly take out so many pens from? Why is she starting drawing? Oh, why is she coloring it? What on earth is this? This drawing is surprisingly vivid. If you really sent it to the victim, the police might interpret it as a murder threat. When and how? Forcibly stuffed into the pocket. Right, have you disclosed everything to us? She always like this, even back in school? She was even more so back then. At least we managed to extract some information, right? Even though most of the time was wasted on this weird drawing. Let's go in. Witness you requested should be there. Let's go! We must secure an acquittal.
耶！说的没错，本小姐就是大唐艺术园的导游马丝竹。啊？为什么会是个汉服美女啊？哎，本小姐不能是吗？等等，为什么没有人提前告诉我，这个马丝竹是个这样的人呢？
老夫还以为你早就知道了呢，所以才想看看他要怎么才能变装成死者。
I feel like I've been played.
证人，这里是严肃的法庭，你怎么这副打扮就进来了？
这个主要是因为传唤比较匆忙。
毕竟人家的工作就是穿着汉服踩在不倒翁底座上摇摆，表演。
啊
Oops.
怪不得他总是摇摇晃晃的，我都快被晃晕了。
Can't you just take a taxi here? Witness? Huh? This is not the time for hawking. Let's get back to the case. What a dedicated worker. For the sake of prudence, I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions. Since I took the effort to get her here, I have to get something out of her. Witness, based on the previous proceedings, we suspect that on the day of the incident, August 8th, you may have entered the crime scene. Can you tell us what you did yesterday? Surprised you could remember that. You really take it as a performance? At first glance, this brief testimony seems fine. What should I do next, Chief? For witnesses with such brief testimonies, we usually need to ask more carefully. There might be some new information in her answers. I got it. Anyway, witness, I'm about to start the questioning. Be prepared. Righty. Which one was it? You left before 5, so that's about 2 hours. During that time, were you just investigating? Luna, if you firmly believe this witness may have been in and out of the crime scene, you need to ask her for more information. You're right. As of now, her testimony is greatly lacking in information. Let me think. Witness, during the 2 hours, what exactly did you inspect? Can you share it with us? No, I'm not planning on changing my career yet. I just want to verify the authenticity of your testimony. That makes sense. Should I insist on having her share her investigation experience? Yes. It's crucial information related to the case, so the more detailed the testimony, the better. This is a major murder case, so confidentiality agreements and similar contracts should make exceptions in such serious matters. You are so good at passing the buck. Now, which exhibit was it? I think it was this one. Witness, can I interrupt your explanation? You claimed that you got absorbed in Zone B because there were so many ancient mansions, right? But the registration form for Zone B shows that there are only 3 houses in the entire area. What do you mean by so many? What took you over 2 hours to inspect? If you're not even aware of this, it indicates that you didn't really explore the community. Witness, please answer my question. Could it be that you spent over 2 hours inside B2 the entire time? I love legally distinct Ace Attorney. You see, we call it CAA. We call it CAA. Fair enough. Yeah, CAA. Chinese Ace Attorney. That's literally what it is. Yep, I figured. I will say though that the English translation, it could be better. Because I also kind of feel like, maybe this is just me, but I just feel like some things aren't like, oh, what's the word? The nuances might be like missing a little bit. Because like, I know, not everything in other languages can basically be translated over to like English. But with some of like the translation here, it's kind of like awkward. So it's like, it's not even like just nuance kind of missing, but just like overall English sentencing structure is kind of wonky sometimes. I mean, that's what proper localization is for. Yep, I guess they didn't use that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, some of the names just feel a little bit weird. Like, I know like, in Japanese and Chinese, that like, some names are actually technically like that. Like, what was it? I can't remember. I think it's, let me look it up real quick, because I don't want to say something wrong. So yeah, like Fujimori in Japanese, it's like Wisteria Forest. So I know that like some names like that basically kind of have like words in it. Generally goes translation, proofreader, localization most of the time handled by different people. I mean, yeah, but it's like, I kind of feel like it just went from like translation to localization. Nobody really actually proofread this. At least not well. I mean, I know it seems harsh, but it's like, I'm pretty sure like you kind of saw it like in some places. If I can like find one. Hold on, maybe I can find one. Oh yeah, like right here. Translating names is a choice. It kind of is, actually. So he's like, it seems I need to select right picture in these picture. It's like, what is this? It's like, how did this go under the radar? Sorry, Mama Ekri was home. The spilled picture too. You're right. But yeah, like I do understand, like not all Chinese names are easy to pronounce for I guess just to generalize Westerners. Like, so I do understand why would they would want to translate it, but they also could have done like an Ace Attorney thing. So dang it, what was, I know it's like naruhodo. Phoenix. Sorry, you guys probably heard Mama Ekri. Yeah, so like in Japanese, his name is well, if we're gonna do it the actual way how people introduce themselves, Naruhodo Ryuichi, right? But then, you know, when they localized it, he became Phoenix, right? So, you know, they could have did something like that, right? Where it's like, obviously you don't have to keep like the actual name because it might be a little bit hard, but you can like at least do something like that's close to it. Because like Ryu's like technically like, you know, so she well the character that they use for uh basically, yeah, just they could have done something similar, but they didn't. So we get stuff like this. It's like, let me look. Yeah. It's like, you know, either pick a Western name then, or make people learn the originals. Literal translation are the worst. Yeah. Yeah. Like for like Charlie Drake and Luna Ray, they're not bad. Cause like I can like imagine somebody being named like Charlie Drake or Luna Ray. But then you get Pine Camel and Bamboo Deer. It's like, huh. Then Plum Swift too. Or Orchid Falcon. So it's kinda like that, like at that point, like when you like see Pine Camel, Bamboo Deer, and Orchid Falcon, that's how you know that they liked the literal translation of the name. And again, it's like, man, like it could have been good, you know? I feel like this really could have been a good game, but they didn't take much time with the localization. Oh, hold on. Sorry, cats wanted to come in and cause some problems. But yeah, like I said, I think it could have been, like, I'm pretty sure, like, in the original language, it's like pretty good, I bet. Like, they have English, Japanese, and Chinese, right? So I do think that maybe in Chinese it's like pretty good, but I'd assume there will be some... No, there will be fan fixes if it's popular enough. Editing the files isn't too difficult. Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, like I said, it's not bad. It's just... it basically took what it liked from Ace Attorney and put their own twist on it. Lying about not entering the crime scene is a serious case of perjury. There's no excuse for that. Why object when you agree with me? Witness, I hope you can explain it right away. When did you enter B2 that day, and what did you do there? You mean... Huh? How did you get in without a key? What? Wasn't that illegal trespassing? Luna, do you think the witness's explanation holds water? I think her explanation for entering B2 is... strange. Indeed, it's very strange. Do you carry all those materials with you? Witness, please stick to the topic. When I say strange, I mean your act of picking the lock and entering B2 for Shivery Camel. Evidence. As you wish. The evidence that proves you couldn't have picked the lock to enter B2 is... the lock itself. Witness, you said you picked the lock to enter B2 and reopened the door to leave when you saw the victim live streaming, right? Unfortunately, the witness's statement is a complete lie. Everyone, do you remember this piece of evidence? Why do you still look confused when even the judge seems to understand? If you want to enter the house by the only entrance on the second floor, you must use the external stairs. The second floor door, being the only entrance and exit at the crime scene, was thoroughly investigated by the police. Officer Falcon provided us with a detailed explanation of the situation regarding this door lock. In other words, you couldn't have entered B2 by picking the lock, let alone opening the door and leaving on your own. Excellent questioning. However, there's an even more intriguing question here. This witness, after the first lie was exposed, immediately admitted to having entered B2 before. However, she immediately concocted another complete lie. What does this indicate? I think it's clear. I'm afraid the witness did enter the scene, but what she truly wants to conceal is the method of entry. There are no signs of forced entry, and there are only two keys, one with the victim and one with the defendant, so... Huh? Could it be the victim himself opened the door for you with the key? Right, even if I want to claim that the witness is problematic, I need to figure out her relationship with the victim first. Why would the victim open the door for her? If you encounter a question that you can't figure out, try thinking about it from a different angle. For example, what was the victim doing in V2 when he opened the door for Bamboo Deer? He should have been preparing for the ghost hunt live streaming. Could the reason why he opened the door for Bamboo Deer be... The reason why the victim Pine Camel would open the door for witness Bamboo Deer is... live stream assistant. Evidence? Don't be nervous. Take a good look at the exhibit and see if there's anything that can support your idea. If you think there isn't, try another approach and propose a new conjecture. Okay. Do I have evidence to support that Bamboo Deer was Pine Camel's live stream assistant? I have evidence to support this conjecture. Yes, it's the promotional poster of Shivery Camel and Spooky Shack. That proves Bamboo Deer was Pine Camel's live stream assistant. Actually, I was thinking about it during investigation yesterday. How do the so-called ghost hunt live streamer become popular? There are many gloomy and terrifying places in the world. They can find a lot of so-called murder houses with a thorough search. But the streamer should be aware that the so-called ghost doesn't exist in reality. Well, if you already know that, why were you so scared before the trial? Chief, spare me. What I mean is, since there are no real ghosts, if a ghost hunting live streamer wants to create value during their stream, they need helpers. Otherwise, how could a streamer always encounter scary paranormal events at gloomy places? Yes, please look at this poster. In the poster, there is the front picture of Pine Camel, also known as Shivery Camel and Spooky Shack. That's such a name. That is such a name. Like, you literally just could have lifted it like Shivery Camel. You really could have. And as I said, in order to create the effect that he is surrounded by paranormal phenomenon, he needs an assistant, and this assistant has left traces in the poster. Okay. Now I will click and investigate the suspicious part to point out where another person is. Yeah. Everyone, please look here. This ghost seems to be made from curtains. Looks to be photographed with the Shivery Camel at the same time. Although the poster maker tried to hide it, there's still an untrimmed hand. It means that at least two people were involved in the making of the poster. So it implies one thing. Shivery Camel and Spooky Shack. This account was actually run by a team of at least 2 people. Pine Camel appeared in the live stream, and the other created a spooky atmosphere and paranormal events behind the camera. Am I right, witness? Even now, you still choose to remain silent. Wait, Prosecutor Hush reminds me, if that was the case... What, do you have a new idea? No, that says do you have any new idea, which is worse. The defendant mentioned in her testimony that she had to rush back to work at night, so she left before 5 p.m. If so, the assistant to create spooky atmosphere was gone, and the defendant happened to appear at the time. Given that she had contacted with the victim and agreed to meet there might have been another reason to meet besides collecting materials. He needed another person to create a spooky atmosphere in place of Bamboo Deer, who had gone to work at the park at the time. You really don't care your verdict, do you? Your Honor, it doesn't matter if my client agrees or not. The point is the witness's attitude. She hasn't explained why she appeared at the crime scene that day. Keeping silent now is just useless. To confirm whether the witness collaborated with the victim, the defense suggests that the police do one thing. Please immediately conduct a thorough search of the scene to check if there are the witness's fingerprints or DNA. If she did collaborate with the victim, there must be traces left. Too fast. How many jobs are you doing at the same time? Since you were the victim's collaborator, you were quite familiar with each other, right? Who would buy such things? You'd be surprised, honestly. We still believe that the witness's role in the case is highly suspicious. If she was very close to the victim, there would be two problems. First, there might have been conflicts between them that were unknown to others, which could have generated a motive. More importantly, there is an unavoidable possibility now. Since you work closely with him in B2 and are very familiar with his appearance and actions, even with a big difference in appearance, you could have still... No, you could still have impersonated him to continue the livestream after his death. Do you have any evidence to prove that the person continued live stream after 4:30 was the victim himself instead of you? Huh? Really? Is she trying to change her testimony? Then I definitely can't miss this opportunity. Is this what you witnessed about the incident? Yes, but we didn't pay attention to whether the streamer had tumbled. DNA testing is a highly sophisticated technology, so it is unlikely to be falsified. What do you think of her testimony? She didn't accuse Plum as the murderer nor admitted to impersonate the victim. Maybe she really has some tricks to get through the test safe and sound. Huh? So fast? And? Huh? How could that be? Well, that's not good. Do you still insist that the witness once impersonated the victim to continue the live stream? How could there be evidence like that? Now I can only resort to the testimony. The DNA test has made the impersonation completely impossible. Is there still a loophole in the testimony? Oh, what was this one again? Let me confirm first. The grilled octopus you mentioned, was it this person in the video? Have you seen her up close? She didn't fall into my language trap. According to the DNA test result from the scene, the blood did belong to the victim behind camel. Is it possible that the blood was actually fabricated afterwards? In other words, it's impossible to fabricate such a scene unless it's made by an extremely skilled forensic expert. Although I think the witness is problematic, she can't just happen to be a forensic expert, could she? What should I do? I seem to have entered a dead end. I have been looking for loopholes very carefully, but why? I can't find any contradictions. Don't panic. When questioning reaches a deadlock, not pushing forward is also a strategy. What do you think? If you feel like you can't make any progress in questioning, do you want to stop it first? Perhaps breaking out of the mindset provided by the witness could lead us to a new way of thinking. What should I do? Should I continue to question on Bambodier's testimony? Let it go. Chief is right. This testimony is supported by evidence. Simply questioning it won't break through. But I just can't accept it. If I stop questioning Bambodier now, what else can I do? Should I request to question other people? No, it won't work. The omission in Officer Falcon's testimony has already been pointed out. No need for further discussion. Should I request the police for a thorough search of the scene again? But without a clear direction for the search, the request will surely be rejected. Huh? Prosecutor Hush? What are you up to? For some reason, Prosecutor Hush suddenly has interest to debate. Let's call it the confrontation in court. Confrontation? Between me and him? I'm clearly at a disadvantage now. Does he really need to launch another attack? Well, despite his age, he's still acting like a young man in times like this. Court confrontations are a tradition passed down from previous generations. It is a verbal battle between lawyers and prosecutors. Listen carefully. Next, Prosecutor Hush will likely present several logical arguments to challenge you. That even the best laid plans can go awry. You must find the loopholes in his arguments to refute. Though refuting doesn't require evidence to support, it's better to check the evidence you have before starting. If you chose an argument you can't refute, you'll immediately suffer a blow to your momentum. Besides, if you do nothing and simply let the other side speak, your momentum will also diminish. We're already at a disadvantage. If our momentum is depleted, the judge might immediately verdict. Okay. In the confrontation, you won't have time to review arguments or check the exhibit. You must seize the right moment. Seeing is believing. This is an inevitable confrontation in the court. Good luck, Luna. I understand. Though the idea of a one-on-one confrontation is a bit worrying, I think I can have a try. After all, my opponent is just this old man. For the confrontation, maybe I should review the exhibit. Several arguments, yeah. Highlighted in red. If it's good, it'll continue. If it's wrong, it won't.
既然你已无话可说，那老夫就要做总结陈词了。要是不服气，就来与我论战一番吧。
好，您的挑战，我接受了。
Get a break from reading.
到目前为止，你没有证据可以表明镜头中的不是死者本人。视频里有着死者被被告推下的画面，这不就是所谓铁证如山？而这位证人，他行踪明确，并且16:56就登记离开，应该是没有下手的机会吧
？This one?
反对。证人只留下了一个离开的时间，其余时段的行为都是空白。在这种情况下，根本无法证明他没有作案机会。
反对！现场血迹的 DNA 检测已经查出来是属于死者了，这不就说明了这位马小姐没有参与案件吗？
反对！我们申请让警方调查现场，原本的目的是确认马丝竹是否留有痕迹，而警方发回调查结果时，并没有否定他参与案件的可能性。在这种情况下，我方无法认可您将他参与案件的可能性排除在外。
这似乎也有一些道理。
Nice. I've refuted prosecutor Hush, and I feel my momentum is back.
不对，老夫想明白了，小姑娘，你的主张还是站不住脚。
I didn't expect the second round. If I need to check the exhibit, I'd better do it now.
无论证人做过什么，16:54的视频和 DNA 检测都能证明，当时死者还活着。难道你想主张，证人在2分钟内就能完成杀人、藏尸和逃跑吗？那老夫宁愿怀疑警方的 DNA 检测有疏漏，说不定可能性还大一些。
I think it was this one.
您这倒是提醒我了。警方的 DNA 检测，在一些特定的状况下，的确会有所遗漏。这就是为何我们经常会当庭要求警方提供见证技术的帮助。 因为在审理进行的过程中，我们会随时发现案件的全新方向。
反对！照你这么说，你是在怀疑警方提供的检测结果有问题喽？要质疑警方弄虚作假，这可是不小的指控，而且也得拿到真凭实据再说。
反对。
Hey, thank you, Prosecutor Hush. I haven't thought of this possibility. Although it might be more shocking, it's definitely worth a try.
不，您没有理解我的意思。我所指的遗漏，其实并不是检测结果作假，而是一些极其少见的情况，会让我们对检测结果有所误判。
这老夫实在是听不懂了。辩护方，不如就请你指点一下吧。警方在 DNA 检测结果中可能存在的遗漏到底是什么？
This loophole is that. DNA match. Although I don't have the evidence for this yet, it's indeed a possibility that cannot be ignored.
就是他，在一些特定的情况下，两个人是可以拥有完全一致的 DNA 的。
什么？真的有这种事吗？ 看来老夫没能一口气拿下胜利啊！
I made it through. So this is what the confrontation feels like. Practice makes perfect. I've learned some debate techniques from it. And I need to thank Prosecutor Hush for enlightening me. Not long ago, there was a report in foreign news about a murder case committed by twins. I heard about it in a lecture. That was the world's first judicial case to use technology to distinguish between identical twins in a crime. It was studied as a special case by police forces around the world, ultimately promoting the development of forensic technology. Yes, if the witness and the victim were actually identical twins, their DNA would be identical as well. Can't they? The principle of identical twins formation is that a single fertilized egg splits into two embryos during the development. All chromosomes in these two embryos are identical, including the sex chromosomes. Although there have indeed been extremely rare cases of opposite-sex identical twins in medical practice in such cases, the female embryo usually does not develop completely, and she would be much shorter than average people when grown up. So that's how it is. But the witness's figure looks quite normal, even a bit taller than average girls. What exactly is you claiming? Defense, tell me exactly what is you claiming? The judge suddenly became street. I love it. The judge became street. If I want to claim that Bambo Deer's DNA matches Pine Camel's, I must address the problem raised by Chief. This time I must think it over thoroughly before answering. We believe that the witness Bambo Deer is a man disguised as a woman. He was Pine Camel's twin brother. After careful consideration, our side came to a conclusion, which may seem absurd. Is it possible that the witness, Bambo Deer, is actually a man dressed as a woman? I mean, hey, I'd fuck it. I can get you a man who can look good in both genders. Yes, I know it sounds absurd, but it's the only reasonable possibility. This case has too many inconsistencies. In the first half of the trial, we have proven that the crime scene was tampered with. The traces on the victim's body does not indicate that he experienced a secondary fall after death. Moreover, there happens to be a blind spot in the video of the victim's fall, which makes it more difficult to discern the truth. The victim had already died at an earlier time, and later it was this witness who disguised as him to stream. Everything would be explained. But it was the witness who disguised as the streamer and fell during the live stream, yet the scene has the victim's DNA. The only explanation I can think of is that the witness happens to be the victim's identical twin brother. Your Honor, I know it's impossible to detect a person's DNA in the courtroom, but verifying the gender is very easy. Witness, would you mind if the forensic expert confirms your gender now? You can leave the remaining issues later. Oh. Yes.
难道你打算强行拒绝？
Bro just stripped in court. But it's crazy though. The moment he took off the hair, the makeup came off too. Yo.
肃静，肃静！证人，你这是？
Somehow I had a feeling he would have thrown the wig directly at my face.
审判长，还有各位请看，这位证人不但露出了男性形象，而且他这张脸虽然面色苍白，但是和死者洛海松长得不是一模一样吗？
我承认就是了。
After removing the makeup, his personality seems to have completely changed.
我和死者洛海松，我们两个的确是一对双胞胎兄弟。
That's in a minute. But witness, why did you conceal this information? Are you trying to deceive the court and hide your suspicion of murder? Huh? Prosecutor, hush, so you knew the witness's identity all along? Why didn't you say it earlier? That's enough. Anyway, now that the witness's real identity has been revealed, our argument would be highly feasible. Oh, there goes the ad. Done. Sorry. I quickly went to the restroom. His tone's so weak and feeble, so this is his true face. Witness, is your usual appearance and way of speaking just an act for performing at the park? Hey, Witness, your nose is bleeding. Are you okay? You mentioned before that he has to work multiple jobs. It seems he is truly struggling to make ends meet. Defendant, the witness mentioned you several times in his testimony just now. And at that time, you were trapped at the crime scene. Did you see the witness there? Not at all? Right, you were trapped in that mascot costume. Could it be that the costume blocked your vision? You even tried it on? How dedicated are you? Or how dedicated you are. Oy. Sounds incredibly uncomfortable. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. Sorry. I messed with something on OBS. I was like, whoa, what happened? Luna, this is likely to be the last testimony in today's trial. Are you prepared? I see. I will definitely expose the final flaw in the witness's testimony and clear Plum's name. What was it again? But she noticed you even if she was trapped in the mascot costume. In other words, when wearing it, the defendant's field of vision is almost the same as when not wearing it. Both the visible field and the blind spots are the same as when not wearing it, right? Blind spots. Bembo Deer was right. If he wanted to get out, he would definitely run into Plum in the mascot costume. The costume has a very good internal field of view, so Plum had no reason not to see the front. But why didn't she see him? What was it again? Oh. Dang it, what was it again? You mean you didn't have a key, so you would have definitely run into the defendant when leaving. Is it this one? Dang it, I don't remember. I'm gonna like try a bunch of stuff right now. That's what I'm saving. Oh, is it this one? Okay, it's not that piece. No need for a reason. Oh, it was for that one, wasn't it? No? Okay. Okay, not the video. What was it again? I can't remember. Let me just like quickly skip through that. Like I said, this is why we save. We test stuff out. And then we can just go back. Let me look at the log again. that's not it either. Don't worry, we'll get there. Just have to remember what it is. Oh.
反对！
Alright, let me restart. Okay, see ya. Sorry, I'm thinking.
反对！
I got there. I got there. I found the flaw, but the conclusion is rather strange. It's a bit embarrassing to take it out, but I have no other choice at the moment. Could it be that she anticipated the situation when she insisted on giving me this thing? Everyone, please look at this item.
反对！
So you were messing around before? I'm not messing around. The witness said if he was hiding in the room, the defendant would definitely see him upon entering. After all, wearing the costume would have obstructed the front view. But this is only true under normal circumstances. Please look at this drawing. This abstract drawing is a selfie of the defendant Plum Swift. Since her phone has been confiscated by the police, we can only use this drawing as an illustration. The selfie was taken when she arrived at the community entrance and was sent to Chevry Camel Online. Although the style of this drawing is quite enigmatic, it contains an important piece of information. I understand. Let me point it out. The important information is right here. Before addressing the issue, I'd like to ask everyone a question. When taking a selfie, naturally, you would point the camera towards your own face, right? If that's the case, the selfie in question naturally represents the front view of the defendant. Now then, please take a look at this place. The problem is why there's a pentagram here. After all, the actual front view of the mascot's costume doesn't have this pattern. The defendant even drew the surrounding pedestrians and greenery, so she wouldn't add something that didn't exist. Please check that mascot costume. Confirm if there's such a pentagram on it. The setting is quite complete. No, this is a huge contradiction. The thing that this pentagram is on the back of the costume proves something astonishing. The defendant wore the mascot costume backwards. That's why the pattern from the back appeared in Plum's front-facing selfie.
反对！
反对！
This drawing originates from the defendant's selfie. It can be verified as long as the police take out the phone of Plum Swift. How do you manage to do everything so quickly? Much difference? Couldn't you choose a better name for yourself? She was just kidding. Oof. It makes a huge difference. This fact will completely change the meaning of this evidence. The witness stated the defendant would have definitely seen him inside the room, but if Plum Swift wore the costume backwards, the significance of this evidence will completely change. Please watch this video. It clearly captures the defendant wearing the mascot costume. Please take a closer look. In the footage, the front of the costume was clearly captured. Yes, you realize the truth this matter shows. Once we put on this costume correctly, we can only move toward the direction the costume is facing. Now, imagine what would happen if this costume is worn backwards. Exactly. Only in that way could the defendant move normally. Prosecutor Hush has personally tried it on. Once this costume is put on, it cannot be taken off by oneself. Even if the defendant realized she wore it backwards, she wouldn't be able to switch it back before meeting the victim. And unlike insects, humans only have two eyes facing forward. Please look at this image. If the defendant entered the crime scene in a normal state, her field of view should have been like this. In that case, her vision would have always been directed forward. Anyone inside the house who tried to leave would undoubtedly be noticed by her. However, if the defendant was in the state I just mentioned, only able to move backward, then after opening the door, she had to turn her body and enter in this state. That's right, from the moment the defendant entered the door, the front of the costume was an absolute blind spot. And on a platform with a void below, it's only natural for people to turn their vision downwards to confirm the height. At this moment, the person hiding inside the house could easily evade her field of vision and leave. Let's recall the statements of the witness since he entered the court. His footsteps are light, nearly silent while walking, and he is knowledgeable about various costumes. Both factors prove that the witness is able to leave the scene in the way we mentioned before under the defendant's nose. Under normal circumstances, it's indeed impossible to predict a defendant's outrageous behavior. But as I said earlier, the defendant had sent the picture to Shivery Camel in advance. Given the fact that the defendant did enter the room backward in the video, the argument of our side is now completely valid. Witness, how do you explain this? I ask, of course it was Shivery Ah. Huh, isn't that very inconvenient? But you were his brother. Maybe he told you the password before. How could I possibly find evidence to prove whether someone knows something or not? So, do you think it's possible to find such evidence? The evidence I have should have all been used. Even if there are some not yet used, they couldn't prove this matter. In fact, unless he enters the correct password in court, it's impossible to prove that he knows it. Should I try other questions to trap him, or find another way to expose his flaw? This witness is very defensive against you right now. These tricks might not work. Perhaps you need to calm down now, and carefully consider all the details of the case. Maybe the key to the breakthrough has been right in front of you all along, but you haven't seen it. Calm down, Luna. Immerse yourself in all the information you already know, and try to organize and scrutinize. Perhaps the truth you are seeking has already been laid out before you. To calm down and see the bigger picture, I'll give it a try. In this case, due to the witness's significant change in image and identity, I've adjusted my reasoning multiple times. It's time to calm down and carefully re-examine everything that has happened since the trial began. With the testimonies of Orchid Falcon and Bamboo Deer, and the evidence presented by Prosecutor Hush, my current conclusion is the victim, Pine Camel, also known as Shivery Camel in Spooky Shack, was in partnership with his twin brother Bamboo Deer. On the day of the incident, Pine Camel streamed as usual, while Bamboo Deer was responsible for forging paranormal events. During the interruption of the live stream, a conflict may have occurred between the two, ultimately leading to Pine Camel's death. To fabricate the time of Pine Camel's death, Bamboo Deer disguised himself as his brother and continued the live stream. At that moment, my client, Plum Swift, arrived at the community where the incident took place. She took a photo of herself wearing a reverse mascot costume and walking backward, which she sent to Shivery Camel. Based on this, Bamboo Deer deduced a way to escape by leaving house at the moment Plum was entering backward. Afterward, Plum accidentally pushed down Pine Camel's body, as recorded in the video. Every step of my reasoning should be valid, but now I'm stuck at proving that Bamboo Deer could access the private messages of Shivery Camel. Proving that someone knows something is extremely difficult, so my reasoning has reached a dead end. Think it over. Have I really covered every aspect of the case so far? Throughout the entire incident, is there any detail that I have consistently overlooked? The reason she tripped. Right, because Plum's appearance and behavior were so bizarre, we naturally assumed that it was normal for her to trip. But in fact, we never discussed the reason why she tripped. Think about it. What was the main reason she tripped and got tangled in the railing? She stepped on something. Looking back carefully, I remember Plum mentioned that she tripped because she stepped on something. While reviewing the exhibits, I did see a rough-looking cardboard piece stuck to the mascot costume, resembling a small ghost. She already had difficulty walking. If she stepped on a cardboard with glue at that time, it would indeed be easy to trip. But even so, what does it imply? Think back carefully to all the words I've heard since the trial began. Memories that can be connected to the current situation are skilled in handicrafts, exquisite, no waste of materials. Since the trial began, Bamboo Deer has repeatedly mentioned that he is very skilled in handicrafts and never wastes materials. This rough cardboard seems to be used as a ghost. It looks poorly made and clearly has excessive glue on it. Bamboo Deer was supposed to create the atmosphere for Shivery Camel, but why did he make such a low-quality handicraft? It seems contradictory to the information I have already known. Think it over. Why did Bamboo Deer, who is skilled in handicrafts, leave such a shabby item at the scene? Somebody else made it. Wait a minute. If he was not responsible for the handicraft, then who was? The small ghost, both in terms of art style and the insufficiently dried glue, couldn't have been made by Plum. So, I see. Since the trial began, we have had a huge misunderstanding about something. And there's only one explanation of all these anomalies. Think carefully. The truth is about to come out. What we have misunderstood all along is... Okay, question at the top of the screen that needs to be answered. Keywords. Alrighty. Oh. Conclusion. Bamboo Deer is Shivery Camel in Spooky House. No, Spooky Shack. Is it Shack? Yeah, Spooky Shack. I see. It seems that since the beginning of the trial, we have been trapped in a fixed mindset. There is only one reason we failed to reach the correct conclusion from the start. Oh, no, don't die on me. Hold on one second. Sorry for like all the additional sounds. The premise on which we have been discussing the entire case is wrong. It seems you have come to an interesting conclusion. We assumed that Shivery Camel in Spooky Shack was the victim, Pine Camel, so we saw Bamboo Deer as his live streaming assistant. But the truth is the opposite. Witness, the ghost hunt live streamer Shivery Camel in Spooky Shack is actually you, right? The victim's family name is Camel, and the streamer's name is Shivery Camel, so we naturally assume they were the same person. But upon consideration, the witness and the victim are twin brothers, and the witness's surname was changed after adoption. If Bamboo Deer is the streamer, it also makes sense, doesn't it? Due to the earlier misunderstanding, I believe the witness was pretending to be Shivery Camel on camera. But in reality, the witness didn't need to pretend because he is Shivery Camel himself. The one who pretended to be Ghost is the victim, Pine Camel. Since the victim wasn't Shivery Camel at all, there is no need for anyone to disguise as him. This is the only explanation for the rough handicraft that tripped up my client. You couldn't stay at the scene too long. Most of your time had to be spent on the live stream. So you had to leave the logistical work to your brother, who might not be as skilled in handicrafts as you but had the time. If the witness Bambo Deer is indeed the streamer himself, he could check the private messages sent to Shivery Camel any time, because the defendant's selfie was actually sent to him. Since he had always been your supporter behind the scenes, it's not surprising that he did the registration. How could you? Shivery Camel had injured his leg during a live stream before. I just needed to examine your leg in court, and... Your conclusion may be impressive, but it's difficult to verify. After all, the twins have identical appearances and genes. Even if there are subtle differences, it would be challenging to discover them in court. Then what about fingerprints? Are the fingerprints of identical twins also the same? Fingerprints indeed develop after birth, so their fingerprints should be different. However, both Pine Camel and Bambo Deer spent a long time at the scene, so their fingerprints could be found everywhere. Besides, the witness likely cleaned up the scene. It's hard to determine the live streamer's identity based solely on the fingerprints. Why? My inference is only one step away from the truth. What should I do now? It seems even Chief is at a loss. Is there really no evidence that can clearly identify Shivery Camel? If the questioning is terminated here, this guy will escape justice. Huh? So you are still here. What else do you have? Oh, this is... To Mr. Quadrant, a peculiar addressee. There is no signature on the postcard. Prosecutor Hush, I can't see any connection between the postcard and the case. Did you pick up the wrong item? Huh? The person in this footage could also be Bambo Deer. I need to look carefully to distinguish. But what exactly can this photo and postcard prove? This is really bristless. But I think I now know the whole truth of the case. With the surveillance image provided by Prosecutor Hush in this postcard, I just need to present one more piece of evidence to prove all my deductions. The evidence that can be linked to the evidence submitted by the Prosecutor Hush is... Yana's infectious. I'm so sorry. I mean, it is late for you. What is it? It's like 1 a.m., isn't it? The day, not the days. Yeah, the days are getting shorter. It's already like pitch black out and it's only like 6. Yep, you have work to do. Oh. Well, I hope my reading is keeping you awake, I guess. Unless it's making you sleepy, then I'm sorry. Yes, please allow me to explain. First, please take a look at this photo taken at the delivery station. It is. Well, that and the Red Bull. Not the Red Bull. The time shown in the surveillance footage is... hold on. That's 5:25? If I remember correctly, the previous witness, Orchid Falcon, mentioned that the police arrived at the scene and discovered the body at 5:15 p.m., which is consistent with the autopsy record. This means that 10 minutes later, at 5:25 p.m., Pine Camel should have already been dead. Therefore, the male figure in this footage can only be the witness Bamboo Deer, who looks almost identical to him. Next, as we just learned, this postcard was handwritten by the sender at the delivery station. Let's put aside for now what the content of the postcard might mean. I believe it may have little relevance to the case. What's more important here is that we have obtained material written by Bamboo Deer himself. Please take a look at this screenshot. Shivery Camel fell during the live stream. And the reason he fell was because he was walking and writing at the same time in front of the camera. In other words, we can prove that the material in the footage was written by Shivery Camel in Spooky Shack. Your Honor, we request that an immediate analysis of these two handwritings to determine if they belong to the same person. Witness, if these two handwritings match, there are only two possible conclusions. First, Shivery Camel is still your brother, Pine Camel. In this video, you disguised yourself as him to continue streaming. Second, Shivery Camel's true identity is you, giving you ample opportunity to obtain information about the defendant. Regardless of which possibility, you can no longer deny your involvement in this case. What? Prosecutor, hush, you just... Even I was overwhelmed by his momentum. This showing off is really amazing. Finally. As expected, Shivery Camel has always been him. So he died accidentally? We find it hard to understand too. Your actions have caused my client, Plum Swift, to suffer unjust accusation. What? Cerberus? Sounds familiar. Chief, have you heard of this person? This should be unrelated to the case. Let him continue. What? Why? Is this the reason you chose to become a ghost hunt live streamer? Indeed, as far as I know, there are some rare diseases that are not well covered by the health insurance. And treatment options are very limited and extremely expensive. You have one of those, right? I can understand your various helplessness for the sake of survival, but I can't forgive you for framing others for the crime. Again, he said he didn't intend to. That was literally not his intention. And dinner's here, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and finish this so I can go eat. I'm actually hungry though. Yum. But your behavior. So you thought of making him die as the streamer Shivery Camel during the live stream. Damn. So if you guys are thinking of becoming a ghost hunter live streamer, be careful. Can't believe you can still laugh about it. I've watched Papa Mutt and Zen try some of that. It was pretty hilarious, not gonna lie. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you end up, like, doing the stuff that they did, be very careful. Because as you can see, it's very easy to lose your life in the pursuit of, you know, giving the viewers what they want. I'm sorry, every time this old man's like, I texted the police, I'm like, this old man knows how to text. Again? That's too fast. Indeed. Whether there was one person or two on the beam, whether it was an accidental fall or a deliberate push, they can be easily verified as long as there are traces. The witnesses fabricating evidence and providing false testimony indeed meets the criteria for prosecution. That's probably a deserved result. After all, the law is the law. No matter how difficult the situation, emotions cannot prevail over the law. Wait, if that's the case, then what about the witness's illness? Ah, yes indeed. This is probably the best end for him. Oh, is that so? Thank you for the praise. Wait, something seems off. On the surface, I defended the interests of my client and led the case to the best outcome. But since the trial began, am I really the one guiding the direction in this courtroom? Is this old man really just a rookie who got his qualification half a month ago and keeps getting confused? Huh? Former chief prosecutor? Just take it as Master Hush specifically playing a charade to test a newcomer in our office. Uh-huh, Master? What are you talking about? Well, let me formally introduce him. Prosecutor Arthur Hush, a senior figure in our country's judicial circle, a pioneer of modern court, and my teacher's teacher. He also popularized courtroom confrontations to uncover the truth through debate between the two sides. In terms of seniority, I think you may have to call him Great Master. Great Master? So you're here to play dumb and test me? Just got the qualification half a month ago? That means you've been rehired for half a month. You're not a rookie. Whoops, suddenly feeling a lot of pressure. It only made me more stressed. Alright, anyway, thank you for your care this time. I will. Indeed, this great master has spent the majority of the time slacking off during the trial. But the fact that the case ended up like this is largely due to his subtle guidance behind the scenes. Now, I may not yet be qualified to see what he's like when he's working seriously. I never thought that my first time in court as a lawyer would involve so many twists and turns. I'm exhausted. Where's Chief? Thanks for the compliment, although it seems you're the one who's made today's trial so tough. Since the outcome is good, I won't say anything about it. Oh, really? Wait, why am I the villain? Hmm? Wait a minute, Plum. Your remarks just now contradict the profile information I have. because I want to confirm something. The profile which contradicts your remark is... From what I know, the former name of Bamboo Deer was never exposed even after the conclusion of the case. But you just called him Bambi Camel, didn't you? His name has never been mentioned in court. How could you mistakenly call him that if you didn't know? This can only mean one thing. You must have investigated the two brothers in advance, right? If you knew the true relationship between the two brothers, and the real identity of Chivalry Camel from the beginning, with your intelligence as a best-selling detective novelist, you must have deduced the truth at the crime scene, right? And that costume, you said it cost a lot. Isn't it too coincidental that you happened to buy it in Bamboo Deer's store? Were you intending to help them right from the beginning? In that case, you could have immediately pointed the police in the right direction and you wouldn't have become a suspect. But if your goal was to help the brothers, you had to become the defendant in this case. Because this way you could involve yourself and draw the attention of the entire society. Those reporters outside were brought by you after all. Bamboo Deer has two goals: to raise funds for his treatment and to have his brother remembered by the public. This way, both of his goals will be achieved under the public's attention. Plum, am I right? Wait, if she can find information about the two brothers, she must also be able to find information about Master Hush. Could it be that she had anticipated that I, who absolutely trust her, and Prosecutor Hush, who is absolutely competent, could have led the case to its current conclusion? Hey, Plum! Oh, ads are starting in a minute. Plum still looks like an unreliable person. Were those things just now facts or my imagination? Even knowing her for so many years, I still can't figure her out. Huh? Chief, you're finally back. Sorry for the wait. I just needed to confirm something. Luna, congratulations on your successful debut in court. What's that term? Rise from the ashes? The term is not used in that way. Thank you, Chief. I didn't expect so many twists and turns in this case. I thought it would be simple. Despite the twists and turns, you had many highlights, especially your final argument. It was very impressive. Is that so? Being praised by Chief. But I had a subtle feeling. This case is probably far from as simple as it seems. I feel the same. There's still an intriguing mystery yet to be unraveled. It's this unsent postcard, right? There are many things on it that we still don't understand. Who did Bamboo Deer have a request from? And what was he looking for at the Murde Mason, on the day of the incident? Also, where's the destination for the postal code 1009M on this postcard? Postal codes ending in capital letters are often linked to classified organizations and are hard to access through regular means. Let's leave those matters to Master Hush for now. Is he going to personally handle it, even at his age? Being a prosecutor seems really tough. That's just his style. Anyway, since we finally won the case, what do you like to do, Luna? Luna. As a reward for your first victory, as a newcomer at the office, I'll treat you to something. Really? Then I want to go for a hair spa. A hair spa? Oh, ads. I mean, it's not like you'll miss anything. Just the end. Yes, let's go! I haven't done spa for almost a month. My hair feels dry. It's so annoying. Well, I guess I can skip that. Well, that's it for my debut as a new lawyer. They say that experience makes perfect, but this is already my second time in court. Why am I even more nervous? But fortunately, I achieved victory today. To be honest, I'm quite happy. Of course, I can't be complacent about this level of achievement. After all, this victory was not achieved by me alone. Chief and Prosecutor Hush played crucial roles. Even seemingly unreliable Plum may have contributed to the perfect outcome of the case. And more importantly, that disastrous case 5 years ago was a turning point in my life. I chose to become a lawyer because of it, with a mission that I must fulfill. One day I will figure out all the truth. And that's the end. We'll be going back to the title though. Oh my goodness. So, what do you guys think? Is it worthy of the title CAA? Oh god, I won't yap too much. Because like I said, I do want to go eat. And I want to grab steaks like everything. So thank you guys for watching. As you guys saw on the schedule, Thursday and Saturday will be basically the Fall in Love Festival makeups. So basically any game that didn't run properly, like Spell Candle, Sigh of the Abyss, you know, stuff like that. That's the stuff we're going to be making up. And I forgot what I said I was going to do Friday. I really did forget. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys remember. So whatever I said I'm doing Friday, that's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, there's a view, isn't it? I think so. So if we finish the Threads of View demo early, then maybe we might do like the Good People or Soul Set, maybe. It just really depends. But anyways, I'm not gonna raid anybody. I'm like way too tired and way too hungry. So it's funny because now I remember a setting that you forgot to change on Leaf BC. It doesn't matter because I'm not gonna be using that thing ever again. If I can help it. Never again. Okay. So yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow. So yeah, we will start with Spell Candle tomorrow for sure. I don't think I uninstalled it because I know I reinstalled it earlier today, but I went through it a little bit and I'm not sure if I if I uninstalled it like an idiot. But yeah, let me stop yapping because if I continue, I'll keep yapping. So again, bye guys. I hope you have a great rest of whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you tomorrow, where we will start off with a Spell Candle. Bye! Oh, and also join the Discord. !Discord, because I talk a lot in the Discord.